Hello and welcome to the DGTL Growth Podcast, where marketing leaders share real wins and the challenges behind them. I'm Suse Barnes. Today, I'm joined by Kriston Sellier, president of id8 agency. Kriston, welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Suse. I appreciate the opportunity to be on with you.
Great. I'm excited. Tell us about id8 agency and what you do and your vision for the company.
id8 is a specialized branding agency, and we focus on supporting manufacturing companies that are in the mid-market. And they're an often overlooked industry, not super sexy. There's a lot of blue collar founders, and a lot of times they've stayed away from marketing. And we try to help those types of people utilize brand and marketing as a competitive advantage and help them increase their business value and ultimately help them prepare for a successful exit if that's what they plan to do. And
Awesome.
we have a team of seasoned experts that focus on brand, and we really focus heavily on research.
Great. And how many people are on that team?
We have 12 people that are employed by id8, and we're a mixture of account managers, project managers, creative director, art director, designers, brand strategist, and really create a senior team for companies that, this isn't our first rodeo. We've done this for 25, 35 years. We understand the pitfalls of branding and how it can be an asset and how it can be a dangerous proposition.
What are you excited about in marketing today? Or
God, what's there not to be excited about is evolving so rapidly. And if I started the company in 2000, if I was doing what I did then, it would be very difficult to be profitable. And so we have to be moving quick. So we're embracing AI and how it can help us be more efficient and deliver better value and service to our customers. And we're also doubling down on the research that we do to inform brand decisions so that we're making decisions with executives who don't really understand what we're doing, but they understand numbers. And when they look at the data, we can use that data as a supporting foundation for making creative decisions.
Great. A recent win and a challenge behind it. Do you have any of those?
Yeah, we were working with a company, Works Moving and Storage, and they are a moving company, actually. They happen to be local in Marietta. They are 7 years old and came to us needing a campaign. Before we work with clients, our sales team does a brand evaluation and an audit. And because a lot of times people think they need this, but they really need this. And so we ask a lot of questions. Say, why do you need this? Why do you think you need this? What's going on? What's led you to this? Where are you trying to get? What's the business objective with this? And oftentimes in those questions, we uncover some very important information, and then we can make recommendations and be a good partner to them about what actually is going to help them meet that goal. So what we saw was a big issue with the brand itself, and I recommended doing a rebrand, and they declined that initially, and because it was a significant cost, a little over $20,000, and they wanted to just do the campaign, a referral campaign, and we did the campaign. I would say 2 to 3 months. It was average response rate. And they came back to us and said, I think we do want to do the rebranding. And I was like, oh, I'm so excited about this. Thank you. Like, they're a great company. Like, they do everything right. Their operations, their sales team, the culture. To me, the only thing that really wasn't, to the level of their delivery was their brand. So we did a rebranding for them, and we did that work at the end of 2024, and middle and end of 2024. They launched in 2025. The With a moving company, you can think of, we did the rebranding. We started with positioning and messaging, so the foundational work. Did all of the branding work and the color palette, the fonts, all that fun stuff. Redesigned their fleet, so the vehicle of moving trucks and vans, their uniforms, their moving checklist, their website, all the things that customers are going to see, postcards, advertisements. And they measured the before and the after. And the before was January to June of 2024 versus January to June of 2025. They had a 22% increase in revenue. They had a 212% increase in organic leads.
Wow.
They had a 9% increase in sales closing. They spent almost $40,000 less in digital marketing.
Excellent.
And at the same time, the market share for moving went down 5%. So they captured more market share in a down economy for their industry. So super exciting to help a company make that leap and use brand as a competitive advantage to just really align everything. So, you need less marketing when everything you're putting out there is clear and simple and truthful. And, that's proof right there. So it's a great case study. So
Yeah.
about their success.
And what was most challenging about that one? Just getting them to say yes to the brand rebrand?
Initially, yes. But, in the process, there's always challenges. Our positioning, messaging, and the research went really well. A lot of, heads nodding. And so that research piece was well accepted. And when we got to the logo, the first round, they were like, I don't think that you hit the mark. And so a lot of times I'll tell clients this, look, when you're branding a company, it's hard. And 50% of the time we get it right with revisions. 25% we hit a home run the first time and it's like, you've got it, we're moving forward. And then there's 25% that, what, you missed the mark. And when that happens, what we do is we ask a lot of questions. Why did this miss the mark? What do you think we're missing? Where did we fall? Tell me more about what you're thinking and feeling about the logos and colors and fonts that we presented. So what we found from them is they really wanted something that was much more personal and related to the fun. They bring fun to moving. Think about it. Moving is like the most stressful thing in the world, and their employees, their experience is really fun. And
Mhm.
though the logos came across as professional and improved and modern, they didn't really evoke that intangible culture that was happening on a job site. So we went back, we iterated with them. We spent more collaborative time going back to the drawing board with sketches and showed them, what we were looking at as the creative directors and walked them through why we would pick these. And then made the selections, executed that next round, and they picked one of those as the winner. That's hard when, you put out what you think is going to be accepted and is great work, and the client's like, I don't think so. But we, aren't like, our company is like, you know what, we're going to listen. And when you say no and it's not right, we're going to ask a lot of questions to figure out what was missed because we're human. And I think that speaks a lot to our character, that we're not going to give up, that we're going to deliver something that is going to work and then look at the outcome that happened. So it's a failing, but I guess they say that many times when you fail, it's not about falling down, it's about getting up each time. And so it's just a matter of being resilient and not taking it personally, but taking it as this is a business that needs to be successful. How do we make it and do our work so it's better for them?
I love that. Talked to another guest recently who said that his motto is three words like Nike. It's whatever it takes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, the being resilient, failing is part of it, right? Failing is part of business. Many people think, to be successful, you have to see success all the time, but a lot of success is from failure. How did you get into this industry? You mentioned, things have changed a lot and you're pivoting quite a bit. How did you get into branding and the work that you're doing now?
So I was at IBM working on huge websites for external clients. And I took a voluntary severance to join three other women to start another agency. And I was young and naive, and we did everything on a handshake deal. And I was there for 3 months, and they weren't paying me what I thought they said they were going to pay me. And so I said that to them. And the next day, they brought in paperwork and said, "You've never had a job here. You need to leave the premises." And so I was
Wow.
with no job, no money, no severance. And I was kind of like, well, I was very upset, crying, and, I'm like, "I can't believe this." And so I decided, you know what? I'm gonna try to find a job, and I'm gonna try to start a small firm, like 3 people, just a little design firm. We do good work, and if I can make $35,000 a year, I'll do it. And so that's when I started in April of 2000, and I started calling on all the people I knew from IBM that had left, friends, families, past colleagues. And at the end of that year, I had brought in $90,000. And I thought, this is the direction that the doors are opening, and this is the direction I'm going to go in. So, sometimes the worst things, or what you think are the worst things, maybe are the best things. And I feel like I would say I'm now 51, almost 52. And I would say that I feel like I'm starting all over again. It feels like I'm still there. And because with the change, it's really hard to keep up. And I thought at age 50, age 51, you coast to the end.
Hmm.
Don't. You have to grind. You have to put in the work no matter what age you are. It is always changing. And if you take your focus off that, you're going to really, start to slide down. So, you pick yourself up, you figure things out and move forward. And I've done that from the beginning, and I try to always look at the bright side of everything and be honest. And sometimes that's really hard.
It's a great story. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
How do you find customers? Are you using mostly word of mouth, or what do you do to get new clients?
I do face-to-face marketing, like face-to-face networking. So I'm a part of the local Chamber of Commerce. I was a part of PowerCore for 12 years, which is a closed networking group. I am a part of CEO Roundtable through the Cobb Chamber, and I'm a part of Provisors, another networking group. Uh, Networking is one part. The other is doing our own SEO. So driving people to be able to find us by doing organic searches for specialized branding firm and B2B. And we don't do any paid media. And then we utilize LinkedIn as an ecosystem, which is something we offer to our customers. But we utilize LinkedIn as an ecosystem to build thought leadership around our expertise and our firm's expertise. And that has helped us reconnect and rekindle connections with other manufacturers and business leaders to drive new business. So we get a lot from word of mouth from clients, but what you have to really work on is those 3 areas. And if you have to network, you have to be face to face. To me, it's so much easier. And then a lot of that SEO, and then building your brand on LinkedIn.
Are you sharing content on LinkedIn about your clients from the research that you're doing for them? Is that
That's a
kind of
great question. So here's what is interesting. I get so much less views and likes when I talk about my clients.
oh, really? Huh.
But when I share our secrets and tips and what we're doing and how we work and what the process is and steps and how we do our work, that gets all the likes. Like gets all the follows, the comments, the suggestions, the engagement. But I thought that's going to be the clear winner is showing our clients work. No, it isn't. Just interesting, but
Yeah.
what they say is on social, people want to see behind the curtain. They want to see what's going on. They want to understand, you don't always see, someone's, uh, you know, out eating at a nice restaurant and they look great. We want to see what the house looks like and what they actually look like when they're getting ready to go out. It's the same thing with business. They kind of want to see what it's really like. What's the truth? And so I
Hmm.
think that's why articles like written from my personal opinion or experience or what we've experienced, I think hit the nail on the head better than customer work. Now, I do throw in case studies, of course, here and there, but just aren't as engaged with.
Super interesting. Do you
Mhm.
think that's part of the authenticity trend? People are looking for more authenticity, especially because of social.
I believe so. I think people want connection now more than ever. There's a lot of trash out there. Like people are creating content with AI and not really a face behind it. And I think vulnerability and being honest and giving away what you charge for is more important. So that connection, that's why I said want a face-to-face networking because it's really hard to connect with someone if you never see them
Yeah.
and really build rapport, like show that you show up on time and you're committed to doing this and you are consistent and face networking, it really is a good platform for that. And I think there's a lot of people still in their pajamas, not putting on pants and doing Zoom meetings and, I think a little bit phoning it in, you know? So when you're in a face-to-face meeting, you can't do that. So, at least it shows that, hey, you're willing to put on some pants and drive where. But yeah, I think there's a lot to that. And I've been doing it for a long time, but it's not like you've done it and you're done. You still have to
No.
keep doing it. I really wish it was, but it's not. It's like running. I run all the time. You can't take 2 weeks off and pick up where you were at. I mean, you literally lose it as soon as you stop running.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating. You're like, can't I get there? But no, you can't.
That's a great analogy. I run too, and I definitely know if I'm not running 3 times a week, I can feel it.
Right. Right.
You run How far do you run? Do you run marathons or 5Ks?
I'm usually running 3 to 6 miles, something in that range. I ran the Grand Canyon in 2023, and then I did rim to rim. So that was my longest. I did 30K that year. It was something I wanted to do after I lost my parents, and it was wonderful. I will say I'm not too much of a distance runner,
Mhm.
like that far. I like it, but it's hard. It's hard on your body.
Yeah. Yeah, and harder as you get older.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. Let's see, what innovations are you looking forward to, or do you think about innovating?
I think that AI has the ability to help small and mid-market businesses stand at equal weight as some of the larger enterprises. So I think there's going to be new opportunities coming around the corner to allow a competitive advantage if clients are willing to, make some changes and do some pivots. So just like this LinkedIn, what I was just talking about, it's just me. But if I write really thoughtful content and I promote it well, I'm going to get a wider, you know, group of people. So I was listening to the marketing school podcast today on my walk, and they were talking about how live streaming, I think it was on YouTube, is something that they're pushing right now versus the, not live videos. And they were talking about utilizing YouTube and really putting a lot of good content out there. And it's funny because YouTube has been around for a while. But when you think about small and mid-market businesses, customers have a certain ability to do work and they have to outsource some. But if you can lean in and you've got a client that they're great spokespeople for their business, you can help them build a lot of content that's going to position them correct. And you can utilize the channel. You don't have to be on everything. So, I think if people are able to learn some of these new technologies or let me see, embrace them and focus on one versus many and really get deep into that, I think it'll really help drive brand awareness for them.
Mhm. I've been hearing that video is particularly good also from a generative engine optimization standpoint, so SEO, and then the AI tools are
Mhm.
also looking at video. So I imagine that's part of it. Did they talk about that at all?
They didn't. They talked about a lot of it's called GEO, I guess, and AEO and through all that. They said a lot of it's really fake news because it's just people are taking credit for work that was done a while ago. So the companies that are coming ahead in AI search are really coming ahead because they did really good work for it,
Mhm.
not because this AI, this new software did anything for them. It's because they were already ranked highly because of the credibility of their brand and their. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of like not real things that people might get scammed about. So you have to be careful. And that's why it's important to hire an expert, a professional who can be able to sniff that out and know what's coming through and know what to trust and know what not to trust.
Yeah, yeah. How has AI impacted your business growth?
I think customers are wanting everything cheaper.
Mhm.
And they're in mass media, there's a lot of marketing and advertisements out there you'll see, and it'll be like, create a website in 5 minutes. And that's Framer. And then MailChimp is like, create your email campaign in 5 minutes. And yes, those things I'm sure they can be done. They're not lying. But are they done at the level that matches the brand in terms of tone, in terms of brand image, in terms of how they, customer experience. Is it really delivering the correct message, using the right images? And if not, it's harmful for the brand. So I think there's a lot of excitement and demand for this. And I think being cautious around this technology is important. Where I see the advantage is that AI is great about the history. So it's not going to invent something new, and it's not going to do work on its own. So it's AI plus human where the real magic is. And so I love using Perplexity. It's great. It's deep research. It's not one of the large language models. It's focused on research. And since we're a research firm, that's the AI that I picked up on. What I love about it is I can take manuals, I can take huge documents, I can take Google Analytics and put it into there and write a really good prompt about what I'm wanting it to analyze for me. And then it gives me information. And so I can spend a lot less time analyzing documents and reading transcripts and looking through websites and competitive websites to get some information. So I have a starting point. So I think the advantage is for us. But our clients are starting to know that, hey, you can spend less time doing this. So we don't, we either want to get things done quicker, like, hey, let's launch this campaign in a week, or they want you to do things for less money. So we have to prove our value. And I think that's where the strategy comes in and where the research and the importance of the brand being real and authentic, like you said, is going to be even more important.
Mhm. Um, a quote that I like about, AI and people using it is, "The music is not in the piano."
Exactly. Oh my gosh, that is so good. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for people to see, but when they try to do it themselves or try to get the value without somebody who knows what they're doing, they won't be able to do it, right? It doesn't happen without somebody who is an expert in their field.
Right.
So I think that's what I'm hearing anyway. I think it's, people like have this expectation, oh, it's going to be much cheaper, but actually you still need your professionals, your experts to be using the tools effectively to make the difference for you. And so I think it'll even itself out eventually, I think.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. It's hard though now as a marketer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. What's working well for you right now and what has been frustrating? You alluded to it somewhat, but maybe there's some different things.
Right now we're noticing soft sales, and this isn't just for us, it's for our customers. People are really taking a long time to make buying decisions. So what used to take 3 months now takes 6 months. And I think there's this cautious nature because of this, like, it's like never ending uncertainty about the economy. It's like, when is the shoe going to drop? And
Yeah.
I think business owners, because they're risk adverse, mostly, they have to be really comfortable parting with their money and know that it's a good investment for the business. So, it just takes a lot more time, and we're noticing that, and it's important now to really position yourself as an expert and trustworthy and have a lot of legitimacy in your content and your websites. So one of our clients they make jetters. Their company is Harbin, and their jetter is more expensive than a lot of their competitors, and because it's better made. All the competitors offer a 1-year warranty, and they decided that they were going to offer a 2-year warranty. And so for them, really doubling down on durability, reputation, this is, built tough, it's going to last. And leaning heavy into that is going to be important because they are, hey, don't take our word for us. Look at our customer. And so they had this great case study that came in. Zern Plumbing had one of their Harbins for 21 years, and they came to buy another one. And they said, "Oh, are you coming to replace it?" They said, "No, we're coming to add." So they're continuing to use the 21-year-old Harbin, and they bought another one because now they have so much capacity, their one Harbin can't handle it all. And so now they have 2. Fantastic. Think about dishwashers, washing machines, refrigerators. They die like 5, 10 years. They just don't last. And this machine has operated for 21 years, and it's going to continue operating. And they didn't replace it. They added to it. And in our world, there's a lot of things that are just like not well made. And this is a company that has something really well made, and they're standing behind their name. So that stood out to us as, a way to help them differentiate and also, be great, you know, be great at what they do. I mean, that's a great
Yeah.
business.
What is a jetter? I don't think I know what a
Jetter is like a super powerful pressure washer.
okay, okay.
Think about a jetter. It's like there's a huge water machine behind it. It's a lot of times on like trailers behind a truck. And theirs goes into sewers and drains and cleans out the drain.
Ah,
So you'll see the this long hose pull away. It's a very strong pump and engine to make this work. And then it goes into the drains and sewers and it has like a pulsing. So it's not just spraying water, it's pulsing and moving to remove the clogs and the drains. And so it's used in municipalities, it's used in like factories, think like poultry factories where they're butchering chickens and cleaning floors, plumbing. Think of all the backed up drains and sewers. Yeah, that's what a jetter is. Yeah. And that's the other great thing. I get to learn so many things that I didn't know about. And, all of our clients, it's a lot of fun.
yeah. And you say I think my nephew always talks about built-in obsolescence, right?
Yeah.
Things get made and they're sort of built to break after a few years so that people buy another one.
Mhm.
So, having a quality product that people can rely on, especially in manufacturing, I imagine is a strong point of difference and something that, big businesses will appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Where do you want to be with your company in 6 to 12 months from now, Kristen?
We're looking to bring on some new clients. So our clients, we had a few clients that were acquired, which is what their goal. They achieved their goal, and unfortunately, we didn't win the business with the acquiring company, which is typically the case when they're acquiring a brand. The agency doesn't get to go along with them. So, although our clients were very successful and graduated from id8, we're needing to fill that pipeline. Looking for like-minded customers that are in manufacturing and looking, maybe in 5 to 10 years to sell, and really helping them grow like we did the customers that sold. So it's a fun process, and we don't work with everybody. We're pretty particular, and so we're trying to find a value alignment with new clients. And then the second part of it is our team is focusing on, we have different individuals focused on technologies and being expert in specific technologies. So we have pinpointed some technologies that we want internal experts. And so while we're going through this process, we're leveling up with new skills and expertise within our office and encouraging our team to have those learnings, go to conferences, and learn as much as we can right now so we can be an even better value to our customers.
Yeah. Well, staying ahead of the curve.
Yeah, that's the goal.
If you could solve one major challenge today, what would it be?
Sales elongation. I want sales cycles to be shorter. That would be it.
Mhm.
I've heard from 3 customers, "Hey, let's wait till the spring." And, we're like, "Hey, let's start now." And so if I could solve that, that would be wonderful. So,
Is it unusual for people to be saying that in Q?
it is very unusual.
Yeah.
They're usually focused on budgeting for 2026. They're spending their marketing, budget that they had for 2025 because they wanna make sure they get that same or higher budget next year. So it is very interesting, and we usually have customers that wanna finish projects before the start of the year. So it's very unusual for November to be in this position. Talked to some other marketers, and it's both ways. So I really don't think it's an economy thing. I just think that we've gotta grind harder and work harder to find those right clients. They're there. We're in the Atlanta market, and we work nationally, internationally, and there's so much business out there. It's just finding them. So, yeah.
Do you have any predictions for what 2026 will look like for marketing, branding agencies?
I think there's gonna be a lot of work in the software and technology realm. A lot of new companies that have some kind of AI angle, and there'll be a lot of startups and venture money in that. And so a lot of agencies will be focused on that work. I think AI will become and AI workflows will become part of the staple of agencies where they're integrating multiple AIs within their workflow to shorten the creative time. So they're still doing the creative work, but they may be utilizing different AI tools to speed that up and the process. So I think that's number one. And then number two, along with AI, there's a lot of data centers. And so there's going to be a need for a lot of electricians to be building data centers to house everything that operates AI. So that particular industry, I think, is going to be big. And we've pitched to electrician companies this year. And that's unusual for us, along with construction. So we're thinking, um, for us, how can we be better, how can we be better aligned with what's going on in the future? We don't want to rest a company's success on an economy that is a little bit fickle. If you're focused on businesses that are a necessity, then you're more likely to be successful. And what I've seen, and just in the business world, is that those areas seem to be thriving. And so there's money to be had, and those are the companies that you can really help with brand and help them unify their messages. And if they're acquiring brands to grow, helping integrate those companies together. So there's a lot of opportunity there.
I teach classes at University of San Francisco, and wondering if you have any advice for young graduates in marketing or advertising.
Oh gosh, be hungry. Be hungry. Be a lifelong learner. I mean, it doesn't, there's just so much to learn. Be curious and try something and do something you don't know how to do. I think we get to an age like 35 or 40 and we're like, yeah, this is the way I'm going to live my life. And I heard when I was in marriage counseling with my husband, we got married when we were 22 and 23, very young. He said, your cells change every 7 years. So your body, you have a completely new cellular body every 7 years. And so his position was that, that's why there's a lot of divorces in the years 7 to 11 because people have changed. And so if you think about that just as people, every 7 years, we're changing. Who I am at age 52, at 16, I was not the same person. And so that hunger and that curiosity to learn and know more is so important. And, the other thing is, I think schools, especially younger schools, they're like, students do this and they do that. This desire to lead and guide and be resourceful and figure things out and not have to be told what to do, that entrepreneurial spirit, I think is missing, almost like drilled out of our kids. And so, they have a spirit for entrepreneurial, whatever, do it. Like really go for it. Try it because the skills and the experiences that you have will help you become a better creative. Like we all thrive on our history. I grew up sewing, I grew up on a farm, and I utilize my life experiences as a creative. And so the more we experience and the more we're really willing to be vulnerable and reveal our heart, the better our outcome and the better our creative work is going to be. And that's hard. That's really hard. Those are my inspirational.
That was a great TED talk. No, very, very, very valid advice and valuable advice. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Well, Kriston, this has been super fun to chat with you today. Thank you so much for spending some time and being vulnerable and sharing what's happening with you and your business. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Happy to be here. Thank you again for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.